Free will, it's something we're told to cherish, to guard as a precious gift, to wield with pride. It's what we're taught sets us apart as human beings, the ability to think, choose, and act according to our own volition. We fight for our right to choose, to shape our lives, to make decisions without being constrained by necessity or fate. But beneath the surface, do we truly have the freedom we believe we do? Or is the idea of free will just that, an idea, not a reality? The concept runs deep, woven into the very fabric of our logic, intuition, and the way we make sense of the world. It's been a topic of endless philosophical debates, with even the sharpest minds questioning whether we are indeed the masters of our future, or if our paths are carved out by forces beyond our control. History, biology, geography, and the invisible hand of fate. This notion, known as determinism, challenges the very essence of free will. If everything is predetermined, what's the point in trying to change our circumstances? It's easy to see how the concept gets blurred in legal settings too. When someone pleads insanity, for instance, it suggests that the person wasn't fully free when committing a crime because mental illness impaired their capacity to control their actions. Philosophers argue that for true freedom, one must be able to choose between alternative courses of action and be in control of those choices. It's not enough just to pick a path. The chooser must also have the power to act on their decision. So, when you agree to your friend's suggestion to dine at a certain place, you still exercise free will because you could have chosen otherwise. However, the idea that we always have such choices is complicated by the influence of biology and upbringing. If intelligence is partly hereditary, then some people may struggle to perceive all their available options. For those individuals, free will is limited by the capabilities of their own minds. Similarly, children raised in environments with narrow opportunities may find their decision-making limited by the circumstances they were exposed to. As we grow older, though, we encounter more possibilities through the experiences of others, the media we consume, and the world around us, expanding our sense of choice. Advances in neuroscience add another layer to this dilemma. Through the lens of modern brain science, our decisions appear less free than we might think. Researchers have observed networks of neurons firing, influenced by our genes and surroundings, dictating our thoughts, dreams, and actions, often before we're even consciously aware of them. The truth is, our neurons start firing in response to stimuli, without our conscious consent, setting off chains of electrical activity that shape our choices. It's not just injuries, brain tumors, or chemical changes from substances like alcohol that alter our behavior. These neural processes unfold continuously, in both subtle and profound ways. The real threat to free will doesn't come from external forces like peer pressure or the media. It originates within our very minds. At the center of our actions is a sense of self and I that appears to guide our decisions. Yet in the 1980s, a study by physiologist Benjamin Libet revealed that electrical activity starts to build up in the brain before a person consciously decides to move. It's as if the brain initiates action before our conscious self even realizes a decision is being made. To put this to the test, raise one of your arms, whichever one you prefer. Did you consciously choose which arm to lift? Or did your brain decide before you even knew what you were doing? If you were hooked up to a brain scanner during that experiment, the data would show electrical activity building in your brain before you became aware of the decision. It raises the question, who or what is really pulling the strings? The notion that free will is an afterthought, our brain's way of justifying choices that were already set in motion, puts our sense of autonomy into question. While the classic debate of nature versus nurture admits that we are shaped by forces beyond our control, it also acknowledges our ability to rise above those circumstances. Neuroscience, however, paints a less forgiving picture, suggesting our minds operate much like our beating hearts, automatically, without conscious control. This unsettling idea has seeped into the legal system, where neuroscience-based defenses are increasingly used to explain behaviors. A well-known example is the case of John W. Hinckley Jr., who shot President Ronald Reagan in 1981. His defense pointed to brain scans that indicated signs consistent with schizophrenia, influencing his actions in ways beyond his conscious control. It's a sobering thought. Our behavior might not be entirely our own. We want to believe we act out of free choice, guided by morals and personal responsibility. But if we accepted that everything is dictated by nature, nurture, or neurons, would we behave any differently? In a study, psychologists asked one group of participants to read a passage suggesting free will is an illusion, while another group read a neutral passage. Those who were led to doubt their own agency showed less ethical behavior in subsequent tasks. It's as if our belief in free will is essential for guiding us to do the right thing, to learn from our mistakes, and to strive for personal growth. Despite the mysteries that remain, like the source of that initial electrical activity sparking in our brains, what we do know is that our choices, conscious or not, still come from within. The speed and complexity of these processes don't diminish the fact that the decisions are ours, even if they originate below the surface of awareness. Ultimately, the belief in free will serves a purpose, motivating us to improve our lives, be better in our relationships, and elevate our own potential. So, as you step into today, whether you think your choices are entirely yours or a product of hidden impulses, know that you still hold the power to shape your day. The world is coming at you, and it's up to you to meet it head-on. Don't let the uncertainty slow you down. Embrace the idea that, in some way, you are in control, because believing it might just be the first step to making it true.